You want sexual identity, sexual content is sexual identity. Sexual identity, sexual minority on their sexual identity.
Those books were not about sex, and they were sexualized. They're about being comfortable with oneself and feeling that who you are isn't wrong and you're not alone, period.
We, as a society, socialize people's genders and sexualities from the moment they're born.
It's helpful to see gender as something that's between your ears and sex is between your legs. And so these are really different things. Sexual identity often refers to who we're attracted to, right? And children, quite frankly, they're developmentally not experiencing sexual attraction in the way that adolescents and adults experience. So that's not at all even part of their consciousness. Gender identity, that starts to develop between 18 and 24 months. They're really beginning to see, oh, there's a difference, right? There are differences. And then by age 3 to 5, now they have a sense of what does boy, girl mean and which one resonates most with them. They're not going to be really thinking about sex and sexuality in the ways that we commonly think about it until several years later.
So I'm Dylan. I use they, them pronouns. I'm non-binary. I am a rising senior in high school in Lycoming County, and some of the things that I'm interested in, I am a dancer, I'm a tutor, and I have a passion for working with people with disabilities. I didn't start to realize my gender until I was about 16, but there are a lot of kids that realize it a lot earlier. I met someone a few weeks ago who knew that they were non-binary at the age of 5. And I mean, props for them for knowing that so young, but also I can't imagine being them and growing up in a world and seeing this is what boys do, this is what girls do, and then not knowing where they fit in.
And for a lot of parents, it's the fear of the public perception. You know, if my child's gender expression, which is what people see, doesn't comport to what they were diagnosed as a baby, you know, male, female, then will that bring embarrassment into the family? And that's a legitimate, that's their experience. At the same time, we're all learning who we are. And we have instances where people's gender identity, which is the internal experience, doesn't match what was assigned to them at birth. And they're living with that, wait, I don't feel like what people tell me I should be feeling.
Everyone watches things that they see themselves in or reads characters that remind them of them. They like that. For me personally, a few years ago, I went to see a musical on Broadway. And in this musical, there was a character who was questioning her gender. And this is at the same time that I was questioning my gender. And it was the first time that I'd ever seen this represented on the stage, the screen, books. And it was an amazing feeling. So it just shows you that there's a whole community behind it.
Acceptance is saying, I love you just the way you are. You are perfect just the way you are, however you show up. And so when we are able to meet children that way, I accept you just the way you are, then that's how we convey love. And education can help facilitate that.
Personally, when I started to question my sexuality and then my gender, I read all the books that I could find on it, which for trying to figure out that I was non-binary, there is exactly one book written by a non-binary author about a non-binary protagonist. I read that a bunch of times, but I just wanted to read other people's experiences. I remember at 9 having a conversation with my mom about what being gay meant and about what being trans meant. And since I was 9, my mom has told me, no matter what, I will always love you, you will always be my child. And that means the world to, you know, a kid who is not straight, is not cisgender. I never had to deal with the, will I be accepted? Will I still be safe after I come out? Will I still have a house? Will I still have a loving family? I didn't have to worry about that. The only thing that I had to deal with was, what am I feeling on the inside?
You're doing everything you can to keep you and your family safe as the COVID-19 outbreak continues to affect our daily lives. Wearing a mask, washing your hands, and physical distancing.
But there's one more thing you can do. That's staying engaged in your health care.
At UPMC, we are ready to treat you safely, either in person or through video visits.
Remember, we're here for you, now more than ever.